What's up guys, Darkdally here playing Ghost Recon Wildlands, and today I want to continue the series on Assault Rifle Bullet Drop. Today we're going to be doing the AK-47 and the P416. So we kind of got a little M16 versus AK action today on the bullet drop. Now if you haven't seen this series, I'll have a link in the description below to the beginning of the playlist so you can follow along through the rifles, or if you don't need any catching up, then I'll go ahead and put the compilation up on screen now of where we're at so far. Now last time we tested the TAR-21 and the ACR. We're shooting the target at 250 meters and comparing the bullet drop of all the rifles stock and modded. We've already done them all stock, so today we're modifying the AK-47 and the P416. Now if you look at the graphic there, they both hit the same place stock. So far I haven't tested the modified bullet drop of any of these rifles in this one little area here. The G36, SR3M, the 556XI, P416, etc. All of those right there. We haven't tested any of those. So modified, their bullet drop could, some of them could be up with the AUG-3 or the M4. I'm not really sure. We're going to find out. We're going to find out today. Starting off with the AK-47 I have right here. Of course, we're using the digital scope. Now, I've gone through the scopes on these things, but I'm kind of toning that down a bit because I'm seeing the same thing I've seen with the past ones, so I'm not going to bother really going through the scope thing again today. So far, these rifles have been pretty consistent. These last few, you can expect them, as with pretty much all the other assault rifles, to shoot just a little bit off to the right on the crosshair. I mean, just here, I can just point this wall real quick. You can see just right to the right of the central crosshair. It's negligible. Both the AK and the P416, nothing really big. Some of these rifles do have some weird oddities with the scopes, but both of these today are, you know, pretty much right on. Now, one thing I want to do today, I have an idea on a way to do this much faster. Since we've been doing this, we know that the short barrel is going to drop the bullet. The standard barrel is going to hit right where it did in the original test. The long barrel is going to give it less bullet drop, right? All these things, we know these things. So we can skip out a lot of the testing. For instance, what I'm saying is today what we're going to start doing is, instead of reconning every shot, I'm going to take all 3 shots and then recon them. The reason being, once I scope in and take a shot, I can then go to my menu, change parts, come back, and still be scoped in and not have to rescope back into the same place. You know, it makes it more accurate that way, because I don't have to re-aim each time, and it'll make it faster too. So let's see what we can do with the AK. I want to say there's some parts you can't put on this. I just kind of want to see here so we know what we're going to be dealing with. It'll take all 3 kinds of barrels. That's cool. And whoops, as far as rail, yes, okay. I couldn't remember if this, oh, that's right, the rail's on the other side. So we're pretty good here, good to go. This thing has good versatility. It can take all the parts that we need. Just get centered in front of the target here. Back to 250 meters. Rifle's totally stock except for the digital scope. Alright, so let's go ahead and fire our shot with completely stock. Now let's go in here, and what we'll do is we'll put on the short barrel. We'll swap up the parts, do all the shots, and then we'll recon it. We know where these are going to hit, except for the short barrel. Might actually drop it off the wall. But now when I scope back in, I should be in the same exact place. Yeah, see, so I can just go ahead and fire a shot. Don't have to re-aim each time. It makes this a lot faster. And now that we've done this enough times, we repeated this enough times that we know what we're going to see. You know, I know that this will work. Long barrel. So this is with just the long barrel. The short barrel is just like for control, you know. Sometimes you may want to use a short barrel, and you know, I'd like to see where that hits. So we've done it with stock with the long barrel. Now let's go ahead and let's put that rangefinder on there. This makes it a lot faster for me too, because I often do a lot of aiming off camera where you don't see to try to get it exact. So this is making it a lot quicker for me as well. All right, now here we are fully modified on the AK-47 for bullet drop. If you guys have seen the previous videos in this series, you know that the long barrel and the rangefinder, it's, you know, all that's going to improve it. All right, we fired all our shots with the AK. That was much quicker than usual. Let's go ahead and see where it hits. All right, so here's what we're looking at. So with the short barrel, it did still hit on the wall, and right in accordance with where it should too. It looks like the short barrel dropped it, this, you know, the right increment that it should have. Stock, we can see it hit right here. It actually hit just one inch below where it did on our original test. So, you know, that's good. That's definitely within our margin of error. With the barrel, we have it there. With the rangefinder, we have it hitting right with the M4. Fully modified, this is showing it right with the M4. Though honestly, the M4 and the AUG-3 are so close up there that you could really count that for margin of error. I'm going to take a couple more shots, and you can see I hit right beside where I did. I'm calling this M4 territory, guys. I was kind of wondering if it might hit, as it does stock, it hits in between the AUG-3 and the M4. But over here, modified, I'd say that's pretty solid M4 territory. So that's where we're going to mark the AK-47. Now, this is a weapon that I can't say I've used really at all. I did use this for one character build. I used it a little bit, but I really haven't used it for my own purposes much. And so I'd like to hear some of your guys' opinion on the AK-47. I know some of you guys use it. Tell me what you think. Maybe I'll have to do some more testing with this thing and see what we can do with it. It's probably my least used rifle in the game. All right, guys, let's move on. Next one up is the P416. Now, this hit right with the AK-47 in, stock bullet drop. So let's see how it's going to do modified. Now, as far as the scopes go, this sights in exactly the same as the AK-47. They're just slightly off to the right. The ACOG did the same kind of weird left-right thing when you zoom in and out. That said, if you use the ACOG scope with any of the assault rifles, be aware that with the different zoom levels, it's going to hit kind of differently. So make sure to familiarize yourself with how it's going to work. The reason I'm running up here is so I can move this mark over so that the P416 has its own space on the wall. We're just going to move the mark slightly over to the left right here. And hopefully the AK's bullet holes will still be on the wall. That'd be nice if they didn't disappear, so we could compare these right here directly across to one another, because they should hit in the same place if all holds true. All right, so here we are stock. We're going to get lined up and fire this. All right, now let's go ahead and here. Let's see what kind of parts. I don't think it'll take a short barrel. Oh, it doesn't take a long barrel. Okay, so it's not going to hit up there. Interesting. Interesting the things we find. So let's go ahead and throw a short barrel on it just to see. There are times when you want to use a short barrel. Obviously, they give you more bullet drop and, this according to the stats, less damage. However, one thing about short barrels, I'll tell you right now, is they also give you less recoil, noticeably less recoil. So, if you're wondering, why would I want to use a short barrel? That's why you can get much better control under automatic fire or just burst fire or recoil in general with a short barrel. So standard barrel is our best barrel. Let's go ahead and get the rangefinder on here, and this will give us our best bullet drop that we're going to get with the P416. Now, this is a great rifle. Again, the stats don't necessarily mean anything, Looks like I'm a little to the left here, but I'm definitely still lined up. I tested this rifle in that one video where I tested the P416 and the M4, the R5 RGP, kind of all the AR-15 based rifles, and this thing held its own surprisingly well despite its low stats. So don't be fooled by its really low damage bar. The P416 is a seriously good rifle. It looks like we shot a little high stock. With a short barrel, we hit right down here, right where we did with the AK-47. As you can see down there in the grass. I'm going to take this shot again. I am going to rescope back in and take this shot again because my stock shot looked a little high. But there is no exact science, especially when you're talking assault rifles. These just are not, in my opinion, as accurate as the sniper rifles. We're hitting pretty much right on. So take it for what you will. We're only looking at a few inches off here, there, anyway, guys. I try to be as scientific as I can. But I just repeated the shot with the rangefinder, and that's where we're hitting. I'll go ahead and modify it back stock because I think I have saved us some decent time today. Okay, and yeah, So this is where we're hitting completely fully modified, and that's right in line with, I'm going to call that, looks to me like right with the L85 and the bad news, which makes sense because the L85 could not take a long barrel either. That's where it hit. Although the L85 initially hit higher than the P416. Guys, again, this is as scientific as I can be, so I hope you appreciate what we're seeing here. Let's go ahead and get an overall compilation up. Now that we've seen where the P416 and the AK-47 both hit with all their various levels of modification, we can put the overall compilation up so we can see. I'm kind of rounding these off to the nearest bullet hole. Again, like I said in the last video, if you're concerned about 1 or 2 inches, then you probably shouldn't be using an assault rifle for your shot. So I'm kind of snapping them to the nearest bullet hole, also because there's just so many of them. There's more assault rifles than sniper rifles. So we're snapping them to the nearest bullet hole, but again, within like an inch. So here we have this, guys. Tell me what you think in the comments below. This is a really good gun. This little P416. You get it when you start off. It's easy to forget about. But don't forget this little guy, because this is a pretty good rifle. It really is. And a lot of people will say so. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have any questions or, anything in regard to today's video or what you might want to see in the future. We still got, I think, like 5 rifles left to go, so we'll be able to kill those off in just a couple of videos, and then we'll be done testing all the basic assault rifles bullet drop, unless we can find any other special ones we want to test. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. It's been a real pleasure. I'm Darkdally, and I will catch you all next time.